Good morning, everyone. This is Tim Wilmot speaking from Wizard Systems. Thanks for joining me today for this presentation to show you the capabilities of Workbooks CRM, what areas of your business it can address, and how my company, Wizard Systems, can help you with any CRM implementation there. Now, this presentation will be approximately 30 minutes in duration, so it's just a basic session. Every organization uses CRM in different ways, and we've got loads of different types of organizations, companies using workbooks, and I wouldn't have enough time this morning to go over all of the capabilities. So after this session, if you want to explore workbooks in more detail, we'd love to organize a one-to-one session with you to discuss your specific needs. And I will this morning be concentrating on how we use workbooks to manage our time more efficiently, activity management, managing your sales activities in a better way with you and your team. Now, also in the call today, we've got some people that are already trialing workbooks. You might be aware that there is a free trial of workbooks, so you can put it through its paces and see how you like it. And some people who've never seen it at all. So excuse me if I'm going over some information here that you may already know. I've got to go at the speed of the slowest, so to speak. Now, the audio part of this presentation is one way only. Your microphone is on mute. Don't worry about any background noises your end. If you've got any questions, please type those into the questions section on your meeting control panel, and I'll read those out towards the end of our session, as I say, in about 25 minutes, 30 minutes time. Now, this session is also being recorded. After the presentation, you will receive an email with a link to the recording, and you can share that with your colleagues, of course. Okay, so let's get started then. Just a brief mention about Wizard Systems. We are an independent reseller of CRM solutions, different CRM solutions, of which Workbooks is one. Workbooks is, I would say, one of our most important products. And we've been doing this a long time. We've got a tremendous amount of experience with CRM. We've put in well over 3,000 separate installations all over the country, different types of companies, small systems, big systems, and we can offer the total service solution to you. Now, with Workbooks, you are subscribing to the system, and we do have clients that do their own thing, set the system up themselves, teach themselves how to use it. But we're here to assist you in any way. If you want some help in setting up the system, or maybe migrating data from spreadsheets into Workbooks, customizing to your requirements, writing reports, integrating with other applications, we're here to help you and do that for you if you wish. We provide full training. We can train you at your premises. You can come to us, or we can do it online, similar to this call, and loads of different support options that you might want to consider to help you get the most out of your investment. So, what are you wanting to achieve with Workbooks and CRM? Are you replacing an older CRM system? You're just starting up in business and you need to have a central system to help you manage or improve how you market and how you sell and how you service your clients? Or do you want to track your quote process more effectively, or improve reporting, manage reporting? So that's really what we want to try and establish with you in any engagement with you is what is the how are you going to measure how successful this implementation will be? So what is Workbooks? Well, it's a central system to manage all of your information in one central place, tracking all of your interactions with those people, and I'll concentrate more on that as I go through. There's some marketing tools in there as well to help you be more proactive on your communications in a targeted way to your contacts. Unusually, for a CRM system, not many CRM systems do this. We can create sales quotes, and also there's an option for creating sales orders and invoices with Workbooks. Now, there's two different editions of Workbooks, CRM edition and business edition. Business edition essentially does all the financial stuff, so creating sales orders, invoices, credit notes, supplier purchase orders, and recording basic payments from customers as well. It's not an accounting system, say like Sage or QuickBooks, and we can integrate to those as an option. But if your financial requirements are very simple, then you might want to consider that. So just think about those two different editions, CRM and Business. We can also track customer service. Do you have any customer support people, service people in your organization? And as well as it being a personal productivity tool, it's a great management tool as well to help you make better decisions and control the business. Workbooks have been around a long time, well over 12,000 customers, representing in all different types of companies. We've got loads of case studies up on the Workbooks website for you to view, see how other similar organizations have got on. It is 100% cloud. There's nothing to install, you don't need to worry about upgrades or backups or updates. It's all done for you. And all the data is in the UK. Workbooks is a UK company, all the data in the UK. And Workbooks has won lots of industry awards. It won CRM Product of the Year 2014 and CRM Product of the Year the previous year, 2013. And also Workbooks has been certified in all of the 5 releases of what's called the G Cloud government, the UK government certification program. So central government have approved it as regards its reliability, security and so on. Good seal of approval from UK government. So focusing on using Workbooks now as a contact management tool. So you get a ready-made database with Workbooks to track your organizations and contacts in those organizations. It's very customizable as well. When I shortly show you the system, you can change it. You can add fields, take fields away. You can also deploy different security levels in there as well. Now this is one of the key things I want to focus on today is managing your activities, your phone calls, your meetings with clients, other tasks that you've got to do, other tasks that your colleagues have got to do. You're working as a team. We do have some sole traders using Workbooks, but really where a CRM system comes into its own is when there's more than one of you and you're wanting to share information and delegate things to other people and prioritize your activities. So Workbooks will do all that. You're never going to miss a reminder of something to do. And you're building up a wonderful client history of all of the things that you've done with that client and what other colleagues have done with that client as well. We can integrate with any email system. So whether you use Gmail, Yahoo, Apple Mail. We've also got some nice integration with Outlook as well, full integration with Outlook to integrate all of your emails if you require, and also to share contacts and activities in a bi-directional way with Outlook. There is a calendar in Workbooks, so you can view things in a visual way if you want to. And if you're using Outlook, bear in mind that popular option to integrate all of your activities, contacts, calendar tasks with Outlook in a bi-directional way. Now we also include access to Workbooks from any mobile device, smartphone or tablet. You'll actually see a simpler version of Workbooks when you log in through that way. We'll work with any browser, but increasingly we're finding people are using other devices other than their desktop to access their cloud applications, and Workbooks certainly will allow you to do that in a simpler way. So a quick mention about marketing. You may be doing some email marketing right now. Well, with Workbooks, you've got an easy way of uploading data into it. So if you've got data in Excel spreadsheets right now, information about your contacts, your activities, your opportunities that can be uploaded into Workbooks. You can export anything from Workbooks. Wherever you see some information, you can export that data if you wish to. We can also integrate with a form on your website. So if you've got an inquiry form or some kind of registration form, maybe for an event, or maybe a customer service request or something like that, there's a form there on your website. We can integrate with that. We also can create the form itself in Workbooks as well. So you don't need to know necessarily anything about websites or HTML. It's all done for you. And basically what happens is when somebody fills in their their details on your website and they hit the submit button, that automatically becomes a lead record in Workbooks. And there's some workflow in Workbooks, so automatically it will send you an email, but it could do other things as well, like send a thank you email back to the client and maybe schedule a follow-up phone call for a salesperson. Little steps like that could be implemented automatically. Now with Workbooks, before doing any marketing campaign, you've got an easy way of creating a list. So creating a group of people that have some common criteria, similar job title, product interest, or product ownership, or something like that. We integrate with 3 very popular email marketing systems. MailChimp is the most popular one. We find when we're talking to small or medium-sized businesses in the UK, most people are using MailChimp, but we also do integrate with Constant Contact and .mailer. And what happens with this integration is that you create your invitation list, the recipients in Workbooks. That's uploaded fairly automatically to your, say, your MailChimp account. MailChimp obviously allows you to create your nice looking email. It will deliver the email to the recipients, and then importantly, coming back into Workbooks comes records of the responses to those emails. So you can see against a client's record on a separate little tab, you can see blow by blow the marketing emails they were sent, what emails they opened, what did they click on, and also observing hard bounce and opt-out information as well. So some addresses may be wrong, and some people may come back to you and say, well, please unsubscribe me, or I want to opt out. We still got them as a record in Workbooks, but we're prevented to mail to them in the future. Brief mention about quotation management. This may not be relevant to all of the attendees this morning, but with Workbooks, you've got an easy way of creating a nice looking professional quote in the system. You can store your products and prices in the system as well. You can import your price list from somewhere else. If you get updated pricing information from suppliers, that can be uploaded there as well. You've got various ways of creating different quote layouts. You're not restricted to just one quote layout. You can have multiple styles or layouts. And this is all integrated with the opportunity tracking system, the sales forecasting system in Workbooks. So as you create these quotes, it's updating your sales forecast system to say, look here, you've got a potential sale coming up, and this is the total value of this opportunity now, and this is when it's expected to close. This is when you're going to get the order, and this is the percentage likelihood of you getting the order, the probability. So the opportunity tracking, the sales forecasting, is another powerful part of Workbooks. And remember the option for looking at a business process. The customer wants to order. After they receive your quote, they want to order. Then if you've got the business edition of Workbooks, you can convert that quote to an order and an invoice to complete the loop there. Brief mention about customer service. You get this anyway. You can disable this if it's not relevant to you, by the way. We do have a few Workbooks users that don't want to track customer service at all because of the nature of their business, and we quite understand that. So this can be removed from the screen, so to speak. But a great way of logging a service issue, a case on a separate screen. Again, very customizable. You can apply deadlines. You can also, we're talking today about tracking activities and emails, where you can also store against the case all of the various activities against this customer issue as well. So where you're not able to solve the problem there and then, and there might be a whole trail of activities going backwards and forwards, they too are activities all tracked against the case there and against the client's record. So a nice way of seeing then a trend of your issues, and also building up a knowledge base of potential solutions to these problems. Right, just the last slide here before we dive into the demo proper. So putting your manager's hat on, we've got a great way, hopefully you can see with Workbooks, of tracking all of your activities. the leads coming in and the phone calls and meetings that you're making, so we can look at that and see how we're performing and what the outcome of these activities are and the conversion rates. A big part of any CRM system like Workbooks is opportunity management. So what's your pipeline looking like and what orders are you expecting in March and this quarter and so on. There's a report writer in Workbooks, so you can print out any of this information. You can export any of the information you see into, say, Excel if you're more comfortable with manipulating data in Excel. And there's nice flashy dashboards in there as well, bar graphs, pie charts to tell you what's happening right now. Okay, so let me take you into Workbooks proper. So apologies again if some people have seen this already, but I need to go back to basics, so to speak, because of some people on the call. So this is Workbooks. I've logged in. I'm using Chrome today, and I've just logged in with my email address and my password. Very, very secure system. And what you see first of all is your Workbooks desktop, and you'll see it looks just like your Windows desktop. And a lot of people remark, "Oh, that's so familiar to them," and it makes it a lot easier to use and pick up, where all the information is. So you've got your Start button down in the bottom left-hand corner there, and just to the right of that there's a search box. You can type in part of someone's name, part of an activity. We're talking about activities. If you remember part of the activity description, that could go in there. But back on that Start button and the Start menu, here's all of the elements of a proper CRM solution, with right at the top here that holy trio of people, organizations, and activities. So companies we're dealing with, the people in those companies or individuals we're working with, and activities relating to them. Let me dive into people first of all. Now this is pretty typical. What comes up here is a window showing me all of the people in my system. There they all are there in alphabetical order, and you can decide on screens like this where you see rows and rows of information, you can decide what columns you see in the sequence. Also down on the left hand side here we've got a little views section. So this is where you can create lists of people, groups of people that have some common criteria. So for example, here's one I created earlier, Reading customers. If I click on that, instantly up comes the list of all of my Reading customers. Do you see? And a simple little filter there. Do you see this filter button? That's what I clicked on to tell Workbooks how to find these Reading people. So it's very easy to create these lists of people, companies, activities that have something in common. So easy to navigate your way around the system. And then if I dive into a contact here, let's see what information we're storing against this contact. So here's a window, a record for a client called Alan, and we've got here some tabs running across the top, including our activities with Alan. But on this main tab, we've got the key information about him. Now this is what you can customize easily. You can remove fields from this screen if they're not relevant to you. You can add new fields to the system. If, for example, you want to track what interests this person has, maybe for some marketing exercise. Very easily done in the configuration of Workbooks. So you can search on in this information, you can make fields mandatory, and you can have lots of different field types, so checkboxes, text fields, numeric fields, date fields, and so on. So running across the top of Alan's window, we've got these tabs. This is a familiar sort of interface that we've got with Workbooks, and one of those is called Activities. So this is where we can see all of the activities ongoing or maybe completed. So activities have a status in Workbooks. When you create a new task, it has a status of new. When it's completed, it has a status of complete. So it's very easy to see, and you could sort this list in status order. Very easy to see there all of the new activities outstanding and all the completed activities. You will notice that this being a demonstration system, there's quite a few activities here that are overdue. So they're highlighted in a sort of pinkish color, that row. So a nice visual indication there that that this activity has not been completed and it's overdue. You can create new reminders from here. In fact, there's a few ways of doing this, but this is the most common way of doing it. From the customer record, you see that schedule an activity, or you can go here and you can create a new reminder here. So more than one way of getting to a particular place. But back here, schedule an activity. Now these are the 4 main activity types. But under each of these, you could have different types of phone calls, different types of meetings. So for example, on meetings, maybe you want to split out chargeable meetings and meetings that are free of charge, or a particular type of meeting, maybe a demonstration or a client visit, or something of that nature for later reporting, or how you prioritize your activities. So that's possible as well very easily with workbooks. So let's say we want to do a phone call here, and up pops a new window. Do you see? New phone call. And these are the standard fields that Workbooks gives you. So we've got our cursor flashing there in the subject field. So this is where we would pop in a brief one-liner about the objective of the call, the subject of the call. This will appear on many activity lists, my calendar, any reports that come out of the system. That's the top level of detail, if you like, of this call. Who's going to do this call? You're working as a team. You're not working in a vacuum. So with Workbooks, you can normally with a phone call, you'd actually schedule it for yourself or a named person, but you can actually put things into a queue. So if you have a telesales team or telemarketing team, that could go into that queue there, and people could pick up the next activity due. This is one way of further splitting out this phone call. So what type of phone call is this? So we could have different types of calls. Again, that might assist you when you're coming into the office in the morning and you're looking at your list of things to do. Well, you might want to do your proposal type calls first. In addition to that, you can also define the priority of the call as well. So we default to a medium priority, but you can change it there. When is the call due? It would be normal to put in a date of the call and maybe a time as well. We could also provide some on-screen reminders with this little checkbox there. So a pop-up alarm will appear on our screen, and also you're alerted to your email inbox with any reminder calls there as well. So they're never going to hopefully slip through the net. You can also, in this big description box down at the bottom there, type in War and Peace about this this phone call. Spell check facility there as well. You could also include some files. If you've got a Word document or similar that you want to associate with this activity, or other notes there, you can attach additional information, richer information to this call. So I've typed in the basic information there of this phone call. If I now click on Save and Close, there we are for the whole world to see on Alan's activity list there. Check requirements, proposal assigned to salesperson K. In a similar way, emails, you as an organization, maybe a lot of your client communications are via email. So with the link, with the integration with Outlook or similar, we can see all of those emails. This can be done, the integration could be done automatically, or the user could click on a button to copy the email together with the attachments into the workbook system. You've still got the email in your emailing system, but a copy of it here is now sat against the client's record for you to see exactly as it looked like back in your email system. So there we are, all of the activities against a client. Now, Alan may work for a company, so if I click on this Organizations tab here, Alan actually works for a couple of companies, but if I click on Atlantic, for example, this now is a record of an organization. But the same thing with Alan. We've got those tabs running across the top there, and there's the activities again, all of the activities. Now, there may be several different people at this company's site or this organization. And there they all are. There's Alan, joined by Fred, Gracie, John. So when I click on activities of the company, of the organization, it's consolidating all of the things that we've done, emails that we've done against those people and displaying them here. So you do something once and it appears against the different record types. So there's that check requirements call there again. Incidentally, you can export this information that you see here, provided that you've got the security clearance to do that. That can be disabled if you want to prevent that. And any of these grid type displays that you see, you can change the columns that you see here, the sequence of information. You can filter out the screen as well. So if you just want to see all of your new activities or all of your completed stuff, that's easily done with that filtering button there. Now, seeing activities as a whole, so going back to my scenario, you come into the office in the morning and you want to be reminded about your activity list. Maybe you do this in Outlook right now or some other method. But within Workbooks, as standard, you get this little activities section here where you can now see at a glance all of the things on the go. And like we saw with our list of people, we can create different views. So I can see, for example, all of my activities, things that I'm the assignee for, the owner of. Or maybe I'm managing somebody else. So maybe I've just taken on a new salesperson called Luke, and I want to monitor Luke's phone calls. So there you are, a very little simple filter there where we look at the assigned to, the assignee, the owner of that call. So this display, again, can be very easily customized. These columns, you decide what you want to see and what type of activities you see. If I wanted to, now we're looking here at all activities. If I wanted to see, well, who in my company has got to do this activity? Well, I could just create, add in, insert another little column there. So I clicked into one of these columns and roughly where I want to insert this new column, I click on this little down arrow there, then down to columns. Or you can group by that field as well, down to columns, and there we are, assigned to. That's, in Workbooks language, that's the name of the person that's got to do this task. There we are. Job done. So that now I can see all of the activities assigned to particular users. I can then group this display by assignee. Let's say I want to group together all of James's calls, all of Luke's calls. So I click up to that little down arrow again, go down to group by this field, and there we are. We've now got all of my calls, activities displayed, grouped and sorted by the team or the person that's got to do them. And down the bottom here, do you see I've got 25 pages of activities I could scroll through there as I wish. So an easy way of scheduling activities, easy way of seeing all of those activities that you've done or outstanding against a client. An easy way of seeing, excuse me, easy way of seeing at a glance all of the activities your company has got to do by user, by type of activity, by the status of the activity. Again, we could have displayed the priority here and the status of the call and grouped and sorted by that as well. With the reporting system in Workbooks, you can also, in a more formal way, print out this information. So this is the reporting menu in Workbooks, and these reports that you get with Workbooks, they're sorted into different categories, and one of those is called activities. So this is where we could see, there's a few sample reports there. We could see activities by user, for example, and this now is looking at all of my salespeople. There they are down there, and this particular report is more of a summary type report, but we're actually summarizing all of the phone calls that tasks that the individual people have got. And we can also drill down into that so I can show me what those calls are by Kate. Another way of seeing at a glance what people are up to and what the status of these activities are. So there you are, a quick run through Workbooks, focusing on activities there. I've skipped past the other aspects of Workbooks, the management of your sales opportunities, the creation of the quotes, marketing, and producing email marketing campaigns. Basically, every week I run these little sessions, just highlighting particular aspects of Workbooks and focusing on key areas. So in future weeks, I'll be talking more about these other capabilities of Workbooks and the tracking your financial transactions. You want to see all of your quotes, orders, invoices with clients. There we are. You can do all that as well. I'll focus on those on later calls. Or, of course, remember, we can have a one-to-one session, a more personal discussion of your requirements and take you through what Workbooks could do for you, because there may be some elements of Workbooks that may not be relevant to you. We can make that more personal to you. All right, let me now try and summarize this. We'll have our little question session very, very shortly. Just to, of course, cover pricing. Now, point number one, on the Workbooks website, workbooks.com, they do quote a monthly pricing. In the small print down the bottom of the page, which you might miss, they actually, or they invoice you on an annual basis. So please excuse any misinterpretation there. You are billed annually in advance for Workbooks. And here's those two editions, CRM edition and business edition. You can also mix and match these two together. So if you're, say, 5 users and there's 2 people that want to do orders and invoices, well, no problem. You can have 2 people on business and the other 3 on CRM. You can mix and match these two together as you wish. Also, a popular add-on is the Outlook integration, which will allow you to share your emails and also, in a bi-directional way, share your tasks, your calendar, and your contacts between the two systems. So you only type in information once, and it will pop up in the other application. Another popular add-on is our Sage 50 integration, again relevant to Business Edition users, where you're creating orders and invoices. Now, be realistic. Think about whether you need any help in getting the system up and running. If you're migrating data from another CRM system or application, spreadsheets, you need some help getting the data over, or setting up fields, or setting up reports, or designing quote layouts for you, we're here to help you. We can either train you on how to do it yourself, bit of coaching, so you then go off and do it yourself, or we can do the whole thing for you. So bear that in mind, and we've got different pricing for whether we train you on how to do it and you implement it yourself, or whether we do the whole thing for you as like a turnkey, in inverted commas, a turnkey type project. Well, so we've now come to our question section. So please type in any questions that you've got. Question from, let's just review these questions as they're coming through. So the first question from Gordon, can you create bar graphs and pie charts? Yes, you can, Gordon. Well, there are dashboards as well, of course, in the system. I omitted to show you that. So there's a little shortcut on my Workbooks desktop to dashboards up there, or I could, from my Start button, go up to dashboards here. There we are. And you can create any number of different dashboards. Let's see if there's a chart in here. So this is Tim's dashboard. And there we go, 4 little quadrants there. And yes, you can do that, no problem at all. Question from Emma, can you import data from Salesforce? Yes, you can. You'll need to export your Salesforce data typically into an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file, and then in Workbooks you have an import section. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the ins and outs of the import capability this morning, but trust me, it's a great way of importing any of the data. Down the left-hand side here, these are all of the elements that you can import into. Typically, it's the top 2 there, people and organization. So a nice, easy way of getting the data in. Question from George, can you convert an opportunity to a quote? Well, yes, in a way. The one way, a popular way of creating a quote in Workbooks is from the initial opportunity, George. So if I go to an opportunity that I've created already, so let me go to my opportunities here. And there they all are there, row by row. And if I go into one of these opportunities here, the lead school, for example. So this now displays that new window, George, of this opportunity. And this top half of the screen there are all of the key information about the opportunity, which you can customize. Then the lower half of the screen, we've got this item display. So row by row, I can now add on the different items that I'm hoping to supply. And these can be stored in Workbooks. You can actually have your standard price list in there. And then from here, we can then create a quote. Do you see, George, from that? So I can go to customer quotation here, save it. This now will display my draft quote. Again, you can customize the screen to get it to display the information you want to know about the quote, but there's my items down there, and we can now save the quote and then generate the PDF document. As I said earlier, you can have different quote styles, and these are set up in the system with your logos and your terms and conditions and so on. And also, thinking about saving time, we can also email that quote to the client, attaching that secure PDF format to the quote. It's a nice way of doing that all within Workbooks. You don't need any other application to do that. So any second, there we are. There's my email going out to the client, automatically attaching the quote to it automatically for you. There we go. Right, I don't think there's any more questions coming through. We've had about 15 or so people on the call this morning. So thanks very much. Thanks very much for your time this morning. And we very much look forward to you getting on board with Workbooks. Remember that there is the trial. Go to workbooks.com to sign up for the trial. And please contact us back if you want a more detailed presentation, or maybe you want some confirmed figures, a quotation sent to you with all the different options there. Please let me know. But thanks very much for your time this morning. I appreciate that. Thank you.